So before you start mixing any of your cake batter, preheat the oven. That way you can get everything mixed, the oven's ready to go when you're ready. Now we're gonna go on to pan prep. So if the recipe calls for softened butter, take your butter out now and let it just sit on the countertop until it's time to add it, and it should be softened by the time you do all this other prep stuff. Now on to pan prep. Okay. You're gonna wanna pull a piece of parchment that is bigger than your pan. I always set it with the curvy side down so it'll lay more flat. It's easier to work with that way. If you have a good cutting board, like this, a better one is the stainless steel or the silicone. Set your pan with the parchment on here. Grab a sharp knife. Cut around the pan. And then you'll be able to pull it apart, and it will be the exact size of the bottom of your pan. It doesn't matter if it's jagged, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You just want it to cover the bottom of the pan so that the cake doesn't stick. You set it in on top of the cooking spray. Smooth out any edges. Just has to look like that. Nothing fancy. Now, the best way to keep your cake from sticking to the edges of the pan, add a little bit of flour to the bottom of the pan. You already have parchment paper on there, so it's not gonna matter if you get this on the very, very bottom. You're gonna get it along the side by turning it and tapping on your pan. The flour will bounce around. That's why I am doing it over the sink, because this can turn into a gigantic mess on your floor. And if you don't want to do all that cleanup, it's easier to do it right over your sink. Go around as many times as you need to get all of the side covered. So that your pan looks like that. And it doesn't matter if you've got some bigger spots of flour in there. Won't matter at all, because the wet batter will go in there and it'll just absorb. So you're fine. Only because mine calls for something weird, which most people don't have. Lemon zest, especially if you're doing something with fruit, usually calls for it. This is a lemon zester. This one was by Microplane. I do like it because it's sturdy. So when you zest this, it's gonna go in the bowl with the fruit. If your recipe calls for lemon juice, always use fresh lemon juice. In a pinch, you can use the little bottles from the vegetable section. To get the juice out easier, roll the lemon. It'll be nice and squishy, and it's easier to get the juice out. I'll just cut a little slice in the lemon. That way I can just squeeze, and then the juice will come out. So now you've added your ingredients according to the recipe. Mixer's running. Just a note, if they say mix all your wet ingredients, that includes sugar. Sugar is considered a wet ingredient. Another thing, if you're working with frozen fruit, always put it in a bowl. You have your lemon zest in there, any kind of sweetener you want to use, but add a little bit of flour. That way it will not change the color of your batter as it's mixing. So in my case, I'm using blueberries. Now they're coated in flour, so they won't turn my batter purple. Sometimes you might want purple batter. It's up to you. Okay, the beauty of movie magic. So I'm on my last egg, adding them one at a time. Some recipes say throw them all in. If they say one at a time, do them one at a time. I don't know why, but I follow the directions on that one. I'm sure there's a recipe. Once that one's mixed completely, then we're gonna add all the dry ingredients. Then we're almost ready to put it in the oven. Now, in between each egg, I did scrape. Wow. I scraped the edges of my pan just to get everything down in the middle and get it off the mixture a little bit. Now I'm gonna add my dry ingredients. Make sure to watch your instructions. If it just says stir until combined, don't leave your mixer on and don't put it on high. Only do it until it's combined. If it says mix well, then you can let that sucker run for a little bit. Mine happened to say mix well, so I used that opportunity to clean up some of my stuff while it was mixing. So I think it's done. Little change of venue. Okay, so now we're going to put it into the pan. Oh, I don't think y'all could hear it. All the donkeys just decided to start hollering. They're so adorable. Okay, so for mine, the batter goes in the pan. I smooth it out a little bit to get air bubbles out of like a cake batter. You're gonna wanna tap the bottom. I'll show you in just a second. You wanna take it. All the air bubbles are out. It's nice and flat. I don't have to worry about it bubbling up in weird spots. My recipe did not say to mix my blueberries into the actual batter, but to put them on top. So I'm just going to scoop them out, sprinkle it on top. Like so. And then I'm going to just try and spread it out a little bit so everything is covered. Now, if it said to mix the strawberries in, oh my God, having a stroke. The blueberries in, I would have folded them, put them in the dough, and then just fold the dough over the blueberries. If you stir it, it's going to turn purple, regardless whether they have flour on them or not. Your dough is going to turn purple. You're going to have a big old purple cake. Now it's time to put it in the oven. Okay, when your cake is done, take it out of the oven. I might have already cut a piece. I put mine on a little trivet. That way it allows it to cool all the way around. If you don't have one, not a big deal. You can use an oven rack outside of the oven. Don't put it back in the oven. But let it cool all the way, and then we're gonna flip it out of the pan. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes. My cake is cooled. I'm gonna make sure the pan is cool to the touch. Still might be slightly warm. As long as it's not hot, you're fine. I'm gonna do what's called double flip. I hope it works. It should work fine. But I am going to put a baking pan over the top of this one. There's already aluminum foil on there. I'm gonna take my cake, flip it over, give it a little bit of a tap. Pick this up off of the baking sheet. And yes, it's always a roll of the dice with me. Okay, so this is now that piece of parchment, perfectly flat bottom. I ate some while it was warm because it smelled so good. And now I'm going to put another piece of foil over the top. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put one hand underneath. And I think I broke it. Oh, I did. Okay. I would suggest using either the baking sheet again or a cookie sheet that you can slide under and flip it back over. Normally you would use 2 pans. I decided to risk it and I broke it. But nobody will ever know because that's where I'm going to slice the pieces. And now it's done. For me, it's wrap it up, put it in the fridge. If you're making a layer cake and you're doing them one at a time, this just sits out and cools more. You do the same thing with the other ones. Prep your pan, batter, bake, cool. So if you're making a layer cake, you're gonna take however many layers and divide your dough into that many portions. If it's a 2-layer, divide your dough in half, put half in one pan, half in the other pan. If it's 3 layers, divide it into thirds. If you don't have 3 pans, it's not a problem. Dough's not going anywhere. If it's cake, it's batter. Batter's not going anywhere. Take out a third of the batter, put it in the pan, let it bake. All those layers have to cool before you frost it anyway. So let it bake, take it out, put it on a cooling rack, do the same thing as many layers as you need. Remember, if you're using one recipe, the layers are going to be thin. If you want big old thick layers, you can either double or even triple your recipe. If you bought a store-bought cake mix, 1 box will make a 2-layer cake. So you would only need 1 box and divide it into thirds and you'll have really good layers. I think that's it. Have fun.